What's going on, YouTube? So today we're going to be talking about a stock that aligns with Bitcoin. So when I say align with Bitcoin, I mean this stock, this company owns the largest Bitcoin reserve in the entire world. There's nobody, no company, no single person, no entity that has more Bitcoin tokens than this company. So if you already know, you know. But that company is MicroStrategy, CEO Michael Saylor. And in this video, we're going to touch on it quick. We're going to talk about, Michael Saylor, who he is, the CEO, what the business does, how much crypto they have, and what does this mean for us, people that want to invest into Bitcoin and invest into stocks, and we want to make our portfolios aligned. Or you have no idea what any of that means, then this is your introduction to MicroStrategy. All right, so first thing first, I'm going to take us over to CoinMarketCap and we're going to look at Bitcoin treasuries. What Bitcoin treasuries is, as you see right here, it shows the public companies' Bitcoin treasury. So we can see all the companies that own Bitcoin that's public and how much they have. So when we look at MicroStrategy, they're sitting at a whopping 700,000 tokens worth $63 billion. And then we see, we got Trump Media right here with 11,000 tokens, Tesla with 11,000 tokens. And then right under strategy, the second place is Mara Holdings, and they only have 53,000. And I'm saying only, like, majority of us in the world won't even be able to attain one. And I'm saying only just because I'm comparing it to MicroStrategy here. But you see they have 700,000 tokens. So, and they're just in accumulation mode, accumulate. And they've been in this mode for a long time, since the very beginning. And that's why they have the most holdings. Okay. So this is why their company, their stock market, their charts align with Bitcoin, because as Bitcoin moves, since they have majority holding, they move as well. So Bitcoin goes up 10%, MicroStrategy stocks goes up 20-30%. Bitcoin comes down 10%, MicroStrategy stock comes down 10-20%. Okay. All right, so right before we get into talking about MicroStrategy and looking at some of his chart work and Bitcoin's chart work, we want to talk about Michael Saylor, because as you know, the way we do it here in TraderBoyz, anytime we're looking into an asset, we want to do our research. We want to do our backstory. What does this company do? Who are they? Who's the CEO? Who's the board? What kind of business are they running? What kind of merits does he stand on? Okay. And as you see, it says he's a billionaire entrepreneur and business executive, best known as the co-founder and executive chairman of MicroStrategy. I say that's cap. He's not best known as the chairman of MicroStrategy. He's best known as a Bitcoin enthusiast. Most people might see these pictures that I got up here right now and only know him via Bitcoin, okay? Only know him through Bitcoin. You probably didn't even know he was the CEO of MicroStrategy if you've seen his face talking about Bitcoin, because he's been around for a very long time, pushing Bitcoin, talking about Bitcoin since the very beginning. One of the first people I've ever even seen talking about Bitcoin myself, even when I wasn't too sure what it was, okay? So to me, he is best known as a Bitcoin enthusiast, a Bitcoin promoter, a Bitcoin marketer, okay? So that plays big into the factor of us wanting to buy MicroStrategy, because we are buying MicroStrategy based on the fact that it aligns with Bitcoin. And if the CEO of this company aligns with Bitcoin, then that is good sentiment for us to buy for the reason that we're looking at for our thesis. Okay. All right. So now you see we have the Bitcoin chart here, and then we have MicroStrategy chart right here. Okay. So first thing first, let's look at Bitcoin. You see Bitcoin is down 89K. It was at all-time highs, and it's coming in this wedge. It recently had broke out this wedge to start the year. We ran up to this resistance of the 100 EMA, had around 98,000, 97,000, and now we are hitting a pullback as we smack that EMA back down to 89,000, back to accumulation zone, okay, which is perfect. We know what Bitcoin is, and those who may be new to this or don't know too much about Bitcoin, Bitcoin is the scarcest asset in the world. Only 21 million tokens. You can't make more. You can't create more. You can't print more. Okay, what's out there is what's out there. So this is digital gold. Okay, and as the crypto market gets bigger, more people will see that, and more people will invest into that, driving market cap up. The crypto market cap is at $3 trillion, excuse me, and Bitcoin's market cap's at 1.8 trillion. So Bitcoin is more than half of this market, okay? And as more people get involved and as this market grows, so will Bitcoin. So we know what Bitcoin's doing. We're not worried about seeing 89,000. We only think like, hey, this is on sale. It's time for me to buy. Okay? So we're thinking like that for Bitcoin. So now we're gonna go over here for MicroStrategy, and you see I have MicroStrategy chart work up, and MicroStrategy is currently sitting at 160 on this trading day. It closed at 160, right? If we look back here into November 2024, it was up to 543. Okay, 543. And this was when that run up happened, when Trump pretty much won the election and we knew he was going to office. Remember, all the crypto pumped up, XRP went crazy, Bitcoin went crazy. Okay, everything went parabolic. And even MicroStrategy. Okay, remember, Bitcoin runs up 10%. You know what I mean? So MicroStrategy is going to go 20 to 30%. Okay, so let's go look at November 2024 of Bitcoin. You see from here, we ran up. So we were at 89, 90K where we are right now. And we finally have broke that 100K for that first time, for real, in that November. That was that first bull run of Bitcoin passing the 100K. So that sentiment pushed MicroStrategy up to all-time highs as well. Since then, we've been on a decline, but crypto week, okay, in July of 2025, it ran back up to $440 off the sentiment of crypto being the topic of discussion by our government, okay? So these are all big things when we look at the big picture. And now, MicroStrategy is down here in $160. This buy zone, you see we have our liquidity box mapped out. It has not been here since October 2024, right before that November run up, that November bull run, okay? So this is perfect accumulation mode as we look at Bitcoin, as we look at MicroStrategy, as we know what both are. Okay, MicroStrategy also leverages Bitcoin, loan Bitcoin to buy Bitcoin back. So that's why they're sitting on so much reserve, because they're loaning it out. They're giving it out to people so that they could buy back more. You know what I mean? Buy back what they're lending out plus more. So when we look at a company like MicroStrategy with the thesis of, okay, this is how I could obtain Bitcoin via the stock market, this is the perfect way to do so. Remember, there's only 21 million tokens and they have 700,000. So this is perfect. And they always are buying more. Every dip, every time it comes down, anytime people are saying Bitcoin's not what it is for real, they are buying more. Okay, so we want to be in on that. Okay, so what should I do, Trey? What should I do? Should I buy? Should I sell? What should I do? Okay, so obviously this is a long-term play, you know what I mean? It's down at 160. We know where it can go back up to once Bitcoin gets running up. And we're basically buying MicroStrategy with the mindset of, hey, we know the sentiment behind Bitcoin. Hey, we know what Bitcoin's capable of. Once that happens, MicroStrategy will happen too. And that's the perfect sentiment for us to have. So there's plenty of ways you could play this, okay? Shares. You can never go wrong with shares. You can never go wrong with buying shares. Me personally, anytime I take a trade now, this is the realization I came to. Anytime I take a trade, anytime I get profit in a trade, I'm parking profit in MicroStrategy. Two reasons. One, we already know MicroStrategy is just like Bitcoin. So I want to buy some more Bitcoin that's not in the crypto market, in the stock market, and line my portfolios. So I'm going to be parking profit here so that I could accumulate. Two, second reason why I'm parking profit is because I don't want to lose the profit. So anytime I make profit, I got to go park it so that it's safe, so that it's somewhere good. Okay, so this is just like me buying an ETF in my eyes, because it's Bitcoin. Bitcoin is better than an ETF right now, in my opinion. And, you know, whatever you think is what you think, okay? But it's just like parking it into an ETF. So I'm going to park it into Bitcoin, trying to keep my money safe after I make profit rather than trying to give it back to the markets, right? So it's plenty of ways you could play this. There's swing opportunities, okay? Swing opportunities. We could buy contracts for further out, which I also plan on doing down the road too. Contracts further out till like July, so you're looking at 3,000 for one. It's well worth it though, okay? Or you could do it for a couple weeks, but you want to give these contracts time to run, because we are really trying to get into position for when that Clarity Act is signed and the bull run starts, okay? So that's why I would recommend in you buying shares, because you don't need to buy $3,000 worth of contracts if you don't have it, because the stock is on sale for 160. So if you could keep dollar cost averaging in, when we start running up and we get to these points, this $200, that's a big move right there. When we get to this $300, when we get to this $400, when we get to all-time highs and we break all-time highs, we're looking at a stock that could potentially, and I believe one day, will be $1,000. Okay, Bitcoin hits 200K, 300K. We're looking at a stock that could be well over $1,000. So if you could buy shares for 160, why not? You know what I mean? Especially if it's tied to Bitcoin in any sort of way. So that was the stock that we were talking about that is tied to Bitcoin and that I wanted to share with you all before this next bull run, okay? Because we don't know when it's going to happen just because we're really waiting on clarity. This is the Clarity that got delayed. If you don't know exactly what happened, we got a live stream on the page. Make sure you go watch that. Plenty of details. We break down everything. We're looking at the bill. We talked about everything, but just a summary. The bill got pushed back, delayed over stablecoin yields amongst a bunch of other different things, but stablecoin yields was definitely the topic of discussion. So they are revisiting it. Their bill's not trash, but they're revisiting it. You know, they're talking about it. They're trying to work it out. They're trying to come to an agreement, okay? And once that day comes and the bill gets to Trump and he signs, you know, we're looking at a bullish run. So you know, get yourself in position, man. Get yourself in position. Get yourself in position before it is too late. I would hate for you to miss out on this wealth transfer. Okay, so that's why these videos are out. That's why TraderBoyz is here to shed light into the future and to get you into position for success. Okay, so make sure you like, comment, share, you know, and tune in for the next video. And if you have any sort of comments, questions, or concerns, leave them in the comment section, man. You know, we always looking to grow, we always looking to help, and we always looking for content to make that a better ourselves, and you know, make us think in a broader terms of the world. So, yeah, I'll talk to y'all later, man, and y'all have a blessed night or day, wherever you may be.